The 2025 Bassmaster Elite season has been over for several weeks, and we have a new disqualification. Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the vlog. If you're new, my name is Steve Chapman. Yesterday we heard about Dakota Ebear getting a penalty for the no information rule. At the same time, we heard of KJ Queen getting disqualified from the Mississippi River tournament on the Elite Series just a few weeks ago. Before we get into it, the anglers wanted this rule enforced much stricter. And while I think there needs to be some changes to the rule, I'm going to give props to the elites in Bassmaster and Bass for making sure that they're very transparent with this one particularly. Because KJ was disqualified for breaking the no information rule, for soliciting information. Now KJ has been an elite angler for the last 5 seasons. He finished 10th in Angler of the Year points this year in 2025. Now he was disqualified, and when I looked at it last night before doing my notes, they had not taken out his points for the last tournament, which might have an effect on a lot of people. Might have, to start off with, he loses $10,300 because he came in 8th place. And then everybody else moves up. So everyone might get paid a little bit more, or some people might get more points, which is really going to be even more confusing. Now here's the rule that he broke. An Elite Series Rule C3II prohibits soliciting, gathering, or intentionally receiving information from non-competitors to gain a competitive advantage. First offense will result in a tournament disqualification and up to a $10,000 fine. Now KJ was randomly selected to get a polygraph. He took the polygraph after Mississippi, and he failed that screening credibility assessment administered via polygraph. He also took a second polygraph that was administered later on a later date by an independent examiner, and it also resulted in a failure. And like I mentioned, he was 8th place on Mississippi, so he lost $10,300. Plus he probably got a fine on top of that and disqualified. And we don't know what it's done for the AOI race for those other anglers behind him, and who moves up and who doesn't. We also don't know if this helps anybody get into the Classic, because that's him losing those points on the Mississippi could be huge. And we don't know what will happen to those relegated anglers that are fighting in the EQs right now, today, to try to requalify for the elites. So there's lots of questions up in the air. And if we're going to be real about this, this has happened a lot. These random tests have really shown that maybe there's more gathering of information than we really know as fans and as anglers. Because we've seen 4, 5, or 6 disqualifications this season on random testing. Now imagine if they were to test everyone. With the results that they've had so far, you would think that probably 20% of the field would fail. Now I think the no information rule should be in there, and here's why. I don't think it'd be fair for an angler who has a ton of money behind him to go out there and start hiring a guide, or allowing his boat to be with someone who's out there on the water. I think there needs to be a set in stone rule on where and when and how this rule is enforced. I think that, and I'm just going to use Dakota as an example, I think Dakota really not getting information for a tournament in October versus February is drastically different. This, if you fail 2 polygraphs, I think this is a cut, just completely transparent and cut in stone. This is done and done. And again, I appreciate that Bass is being a lot more transparent. This is one of the things that I think is probably going to get overlooked. Bass is trying to make changes. They're trying to be more transparent with the fans and the anglers. We normally don't hear if the angler fails the second polygraph. They usually try to keep it as basic as they can. This transparency really is enlightening, and I really appreciate it. And hopefully you do too. But this is the rule that just keeps giving back and back and back. What do you think? Do you think this rule needs to be updated? Maybe it needs to be just 30 days. Are these random tests what we should continue to do, or what bass should continue to do. In my opinion, I think they should. I think it's kind of funny, or really I don't think it's funny. I think it's enlightening that we have had random tests this year. And for the first time we've had 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or whatever it is, disqualifications or fines because of these random polygraphs. And I wish and hope that they continue with them. And I hope that Bass continues to be very transparent with what's going on. Because we as fans, we want to know these situations. And we want to know what happened and why. And what the end result was. And we have to give them props for doing what is right. And we also have to give them props that they're doing exactly the same thing to everybody. You break this rule, you fail the polygraph, you're disqualified. And that is absolutely fantastic. So kudos to Bass. And I believe KJ probably tried to fight this, and it just didn't work out in his favor. And he has a great tackle company, and he will continue to do very well. This is a young angler that is a really good angler. This is going to hurt his reputation a little bit, but everyone deserves a second chance, for sure. But what do you think? Comment below and tell me what you think. Think we should change the rule, keep it the same, more polygraphs for anglers? I want to know those questions, so answer below and tell me what you think. Thanks to all the new subscribers and members and everyone who's interactive on the channel. I really do appreciate it. It's a humbling experience, and you guys are just fantastic. It's overwhelming at times, and I can't say thank you enough, so thank you. But if you're not a subscriber, do yourself a favor, click that button, click that bell, and hit that like button too. But remember, take a kid fishing, tight lines, cheers, and get your fish on.